Heartland Season 19 is here, and from the first moment, it takes fans on an emotional journey they've been waiting for. The shocking return of Ty Borden, coupled with Amy's heart-wrenching decision about Nathan, makes the premiere a roller coaster of raw emotions, intense reunions, and life-altering choices. For years, fans have speculated, hoped, and dreamt about Graham Wardle's return to Heartland, and now the long-awaited moment has arrived. But Ty's return is anything but simple. With it comes a flood of unanswered questions, painful memories, and a fierce determination to save his family. But how will Amy react? What does this mean for their daughter, Lindy? And how will the rest of the Heartland family deal with this unexpected twist? The episode opens with the tranquil beauty of Heartland Ranch at dawn. The soft golden light kisses the land as Amy immerses herself in her work, caring for the horses that are as much a part of her as the land itself. Despite the serenity surrounding her, there's a weight she can't shake. Nathan, his presence in her life, has been both a source of comfort and confusion. He's been patient, steadfast, and supportive, waiting for her heart to heal. Yet, despite his care, Amy knows one painful truth: her heart will always belong to one person, Ty. As she watches Lindy play near the stables, a wave of longing sweeps over her. She's done everything in her power to build a stable, loving life for her daughter, offering her a childhood full of warmth and security. Yet no matter how hard she tries, something is missing. Every time she looks at Lindy, she sees the love she once shared with Ty. The past is never truly gone, and despite her best efforts to move forward, it lingers like a shadow she can't escape. Meanwhile, Lou faces her own challenges. As mayor of Hudson, her responsibilities continue to grow, but so do her personal struggles. She senses Amy is hiding something, a quiet turmoil beneath the surface, but she doesn't want to intrude. Lou has always been the one to fix things, to step in and make everything better. But some wounds are too deep for quick fixes or simple reassurances. And then there's Georgie. After months away, she returns to Heartland changed, more independent, stronger, but still tethered to the past. The bittersweet feeling of being back in a place that's both home and distant pulls at her heart. Things are different now. Heartland is still home, but it feels like something has shifted. The people she loves are struggling to find their way, and she's unsure how to fit into a family that feels like it's grown apart. Just as Amy begins to convince herself that she's doing the right thing by giving Nathan a chance, fate has other plans. A presence she never expected to see again steps onto the land she thought she had learned to live without. Time seems to freeze. Her heart races. In a heartbeat, the past and present collide. Ty Borden is back. But his return brings with it a storm of emotions, years of lost time, unresolved grief, and a truth Amy isn't sure she's ready to face. What does his return mean for Amy and Nathan? For Lindy? For the life Amy thought she had finally started to rebuild? The answers won't be easy to find, and as the dust settles, Heartland will never be the same. The episode opens again with the serene calm of Heartland Ranch. The soft golden light of dawn spills across the fields, casting a peaceful glow over everything as Amy tends to the horses she loves. Yet beneath the beauty of the ranch, there's a heaviness she can't shake. Nathan, over the past season, his presence in Amy's life has been a complex mix of comfort and confusion. He's been patient, kind, and understanding, giving her space to heal. But despite all of that, deep down, Amy knows the truth. No matter how much she tries to move forward, no matter how much Nathan cares for her heart still belongs to one person, Ty. As she watches Lindy play nearby, a wave of longing washes over her. She's given everything to create a stable life for her daughter, filled with love and security. But despite her best efforts, something is still missing. Every time she looks at Lindy, she's reminded of the love she shared with Ty. It's a love she thought she had learned to let go of, but the past refuses to release its grip. Meanwhile, Lou faces her own battles. As mayor of Hudson, her responsibilities continue to grow, but so do the personal challenges weighing on her. She senses Amy is hiding something, a deep turmoil beneath the surface. But Lou, ever the fixer, doesn't push too hard. She knows some wounds can't be healed with simple words, no matter how hard she tries. Then there's Georgie. After months away, she's returned to Heartland, changed, more independent, stronger, but still tethered to the memories she left behind. It's a bittersweet feeling to be back, a nostalgia that stirs up emotions she's not sure she's ready to face. Heartland is still home, but it's different now. The people she loves are struggling in ways she doesn't know how to fix. Just as Amy starts to convince herself she's doing the right thing by giving Nathan a chance, fate intervenes in the most unexpected way. A familiar truck rumbles down the drive, kicking up dust. As the door swings open, time stands still. Amy turns, her heart racing, her breath caught in her chest. Ty Borden, the man she lost, the man she still loves, is standing right there. Her world stops. She blinks, unable to believe her eyes. But no, it's real. Ty Borden, the love of her life, the father of her child, the heart of Heartland, is standing only a few feet away. His eyes are full of emotion, a mix of longing, regret, and something else, determination. Lindy, who'd been playing near the barn, looks up. Her face lights up with recognition. Even though she's too young to remember her father the way Amy does, she pauses, then whispers, "Daddy?" The word hits Amy like a freight train, a rush of joy and ache all at once. It's been so long. Too long. Every part of her wants to run to him, to hold him, to make the years of separation vanish. But a part of her holds back, unsure. The rest of the family, drawn by the commotion, emerges onto the porch. Lou's face pales. Jack tightens his grip on his cane. Lisa lets out a small gasp. No one moves. No one dares to speak. The impossible has happened. Ty steps forward, his voice breaking the silence. "Amy." Amy's breath hitches. It's his voice. The voice she thought she'd never hear again. The voice that once comforted her, that whispered promises of forever. But forever hadn't lasted. Amy's fists clench, emotions crashing through her. "You left?" she whispers, barely able to get the words out. Ty's face tightens with guilt. "I had no choice." Lou, always protective, steps forward, her voice sharp. "Then why are you back now?" The question cuts through Amy's fragile composure. She turns to Ty, searching his eyes for answers. He left. He abandoned them. And now he's back as if nothing had changed. What does he want? For things to go back to how they were? Ty takes a step closer, urgency in his voice. "Amy, I know I don't deserve your trust. But you have to listen. You and Lindy are in danger." The words freeze Amy's heart. Danger? What could he mean? Before she can respond, the sound of a roaring engine cuts through the air. A dark SUV pulls up near the ranch, its presence unsettling. Amy's instincts go on high alert. Something is wrong. Tay's return wasn't just a reunion. It was a warning. The air around Heartland grows thick with tension. Amy's heart races as she stares at Ty, struggling to make sense of the storm that has just arrived. His words echo in her mind, danger. It doesn't make sense. What kind of threat could he be talking about? And why now? Why, after all these years, does he suddenly care about their safety? The SUV rolls to a slow stop near the driveway, its engine humming ominously before falling silent. The windows are darkened, hiding the people inside. Amy's instincts scream at her that something is off. She turns her gaze back to Tay, searching his face for an explanation, but his expression remains unreadable. Jack, ever the protector, steps forward with steady authority. "Who's that?" Tay's eyes never leave the vehicle, his jaw clenched. For a moment, it seems like he's weighing whether to respond at all. Finally, in a low, gravelly voice, he mutters, "People I don't want anywhere near this ranch." Amy's chest tightens. That isn't an answer, it's a warning. Before she can press him further, the SUV door swings open. A tall man steps out, his movements deliberate, controlled. He wears dark clothing, and his face is partially obscured by the brim of a cap. But even from a distance, Amy can sense the danger in his presence. Whoever he isn't here for a friendly chat. Lou, standing just behind Amy, mutters under her breath, "Who the hell is that?" Tai doesn't respond. Instead, he instinctively positions himself in front of Amy and Lindy, his protective instincts kicking in. The shift in his posture sends a chill down Amy's spine. This isn't the Tai she remembers, the calm, easygoing man who once soothed horses with a gentle touch. No, this Tai is different, harder. He's seen things, done things. And for the first time, Amy realizes just how much his absence has changed him. The man in the cap speaks, his voice smooth and measured, but with a sharp edge lurking beneath. Well, I thought I'd find you here, Tai. Jack immediately moves to stand in front of the family, his stance defensive. I don't know who you are, but this is private property. You'd better get back in your car and leave. The man chuckles, a dark, amused sound. No need to be rude, old man. I'm just here to talk. Amy feels Lindy's small hand tighten around hers. The girl senses the danger before Amy does. Kneeling slightly, Amy whispers, "It's okay, sweetheart," though her voice is shaky. She isn't so sure anymore. Tai's voice comes out sharp, every syllable filled with tension. You got what you wanted. Now leave. The man tilts his head, studying Tai with cold eyes. See, that's the problem. I don't have what I need. Not yet, shit. Amy's patience snaps. Who are you? And what does any of this have to do with us? The man smirks, his gaze flickering over to her with unsettling familiarity. You must be Amy. The way he says her name sends a shiver crawling up her spine. Amy freezes, her heart hammering in her chest. She knows it, then this man isn't just a stranger. He knows them. He's been watching them. I've heard plenty about you, he continues, his voice laced with dark amusement. Tai's posture stiffens, every muscle tense as he moves protectively in front of Amy and Lindy. Don't talk to her. The man raises his hands in mock surrender, a smirk still playing on his lips. Relax, cowboy. I'm just here to collect a debt. Amy's breath hitches. A debt. In that moment, everything clicks into place. Whatever Tai has been running from, whatever kept him away all these years, has finally caught up with him. And now, it's dragging Amy and Lindy into the mess. A debt. The word reverberates in Amy's mind as her heart pounds in her chest. What kind of trouble has I gotten himself into? And worse, why is it now threatening her and Lindy? Jack's voice breaks through the tension, firm and unwavering. If you've got a problem with Tai, you take it somewhere else. You don't bring it here. The man's expression sours, but he doesn't argue. Instead, he tilts his cap back slightly, revealing more of his face, his eyes cold and calculating. Without a word, he takes a slow step back, his presence still hanging in the air like a storm waiting to break. We'll be seeing each other again. Real soon. With that, he turns, walks back to the SUV, and climbs inside. The moment the engine roars to life and the vehicle disappears down the road, a heavy silence settles over Heartland, thick, unspoken tension hanging in the air like a storm cloud refusing to break. No one speaks. Finally, Amy turns to Tai, her eyes burning with frustration. What the hell is going on, Tai? He runs a hand through his hair, his expression tormented. I never wanted this to touch you, Amy. I swear. Amy shakes her head. Well, it has. And now you're going to tell me everything. Tai exhales slowly, hesitating. It's a long story. Amy crosses her arms. Then start talking. For a moment, Tai just looks at her, the woman he once loved, the mother of his child. He knows there's no getting out of this now. No more secrets. No more running. Because whatever he's brought back with him, this is only the beginning. Jack's voice cuts through the thick air. Let's take this inside. His tone is gruff but steady. He can feel the weight of whatever Tai is about to confess. They move toward the house, the warmth of the familiar living room, a stark contrast to the chill still lingering in the air. Amy kneels in front of Lindy, brushing a soft hand over her daughter's golden curls. "Why don't you go play with Katie for a while?" "A little while, sweetheart. Mommy will come get you soon." Lindy hesitated, her little eyes filled with questions she didn't have the words to ask yet. But after a moment, she nodded and trotted down the hall with Katie. Only when Amy was certain Lindy was out of earshot did she turn back to Ty. Ty rubbed his face, struggling for the right words. His gaze drifted over the people in the room, the family he had walked away from, the people he had once called home. Finally, he took a deep breath. "I made a mistake," he admitted, his voice hoarse. "A big one." Amy stood on the edge of a storm, her heart heavy with one undeniable truth: no one was taking Lindy away from her. Downstairs, Jack and Tim sat at the kitchen table, a tense silence hanging between them. Tim was furious, his anger barely contained, his voice low and dangerous. "I knew something was off the second he came back," Tim muttered, hands clenched into fists. "I knew he was dragging trouble with him." Jack, ever the steady presence, was calm in contrast. He'd seen his fair share of storms roll through Heartland. But this one felt different. It didn't just threaten their land. It threatened everything they'd built. Their family. Their legacy. Ty stood in the shadow of the barn, his eyes locked on the darkness ahead. He knew the truth, the one they all refused to say aloud. If they didn't trust him, why should they? He left. He broke Amy's heart. But now, the weight of his mistakes settled on his shoulders like 1,000 bricks. And the only way to make it right wasn't with words, but with action. He clenched his fists, the intensity in his gaze unwavering. "This is my mess. I'm going to fix it." The morning came with an eerie quiet that gripped the land. The usual sounds of Heartland, the soft rustling of trees, the gentle whinnies of the horses felt distant, almost out of reach, overshadowed by the tension lingering in the air. Amy stepped out onto the porch, taking a deep, steadying breath. This was her home. She wasn't walking away from it. Lou pulled up in her SUV, jumping out with that determined look in her eyes. "I called Peter," Lou said, her voice hard with purpose. "He's putting his security contacts on alert." Amy nodded, appreciating her sister's help. But deep down, she knew no amount of security could replace the power of family. Family. It was their strength, their unity, that would see them through. Then, it happened. A black SUV rolled up the driveway, its tires spinning in the dust. Amy's heart raced, her pulse quickening as she spotted the men stepping out. Dark clothes. Cold eyes. They moved like predators, sizing up the ranch, their gazes calculating, ruthless. Ty stepped forward, his body tense, his posture rigid. "It's them." Jack moved beside him, his face as hard as granite, a promise in his eyes. "They're on my land now," Jack said, his voice low and full of warning. "That makes them my problem." Amy stayed back, her instincts screaming at her to protect Lindy, to shield her from the danger closing in. She watched as the men approached. The leader, his face scarred, narrowed his eyes and smirked. "Ty Borden," the man sneered. "Thought you could run forever." Ty's voice was steady, unwavering. "I told you. I'm out." The man chuckled darkly, a sound that sent a chill down Amy's spine. "That's not how this works. You know that. His gaze flicked to Amy, a mocking smile tugging at his lips. "And this must be the famous Amy Fleming. Pretty. And your daughter, Lindy, isn't she just adorable?" Amy's heart stopped, ice creeping up her spine. Her hands balled into fists, a cold fire burning in her chest. "You stay away from my daughter." The man's smirk widened. "Relax, sweetheart. We're just here to talk. No need for things to get messy." Jack stepped forward, his voice like steel. "You don't belong here." The man turned toward him, unbothered, dismissive. But before anyone could react, Ty moved. He rushed forward, tackling the second man to the ground with brutal force. Fists flew. Dust kicked up. Chaos erupted. Amy didn't think she reacted. She grabbed a pitchfork from the barn wall, charging toward the men with a wild swing. She jabbed it into the dirt just inches from the leader's hand. "Move," she warned, her voice trembling with raw intensity. "And you won't like what happens next." Lou, still on the phone, shouted, "The police are on their way." The leader, seeing his men overwhelmed, sneered. "This isn't over,"